It's another edition of Time About the Movies, and today we're taking a look at the movies of February 11th, 1994. Four movies to look at today, most of them not quite memorable, but they have interesting backstories to them. So we'll start off with the first movie that came out, the biggest new release of the weekend. That's Alec Baldwin and Kim Basinger in their second movie together. That movie is, of course, the remake of The Getaway. So, like I said, this was the second time that Alec Baldwin and Kim Basinger had worked together. They were already married at this point. They had done The Marrying Man, which was not a good movie, and yeah, not surprisingly, this one didn't work out so well either. I mean, usually when you have spouses working together on a movie, most of the time it doesn't work. Sometimes you get a good one here and there, but in a case like this was pretty much doomed from the start. I mean, it's a remake of a classic movie starring Steve McQueen based on a novel, directed by Roger Donaldson, who also directed some other guilty pleasure movies like Cocktail, great movies like Cadillac Man. But yeah, this movie just didn't work. It was a movie that was kind of already doomed from the start, because when you see Alec Baldwin and Kim Basinger together, you're expecting something of at least some higher quality than what this turned out to be. This was just a bad remake of a movie that really could have been done a whole lot better with a better script involved. It doesn't help when you have to get in the rewrites from the writer of Beethoven, Amy Holden Jones, as well as Indecent Proposal, but also Walter Hill, best known for his work with the 48 Hours movies. But by this point, his career kind of taken a downfall as well. And it's got a good cast. Baldwin, Basinger, Michael Madsen, James Woods, Richard Farnsworth, Jennifer Tilly, Philip Seymour Hoffman, just a really good cast involved in here, but they just don't have anything to work with. It's a generic thriller. The characters are really stupid. Like Alec Baldwin's character really thought that this was going to work out in his favor and nothing bad was going to happen. Well, if it worked like that, then you really wouldn't have a movie. But something's got to go wrong. But what happens here really doesn't work altogether, because you can see it coming from a mile away. You can tell what's going to happen. You can tell what the big twist is going to be. It's just not fun on any level whatsoever. It's not a well-made movie. It's a mediocre film. It just doesn't work at all. It's instantly forgettable, and you can definitely see why. It's a movie that just really failed on so many levels, and it largely became forgotten for a good reason, I should say. So anyway, that's The Getaway. Let's move on to the next movie, and that is another movie that has been largely forgotten, and also for very good reasons. It's called it's Disney's Blank Check. Okay, so at first glance, it's nothing too special. It looks like another Home Alone knockoff, because everyone was trying to copy the success of Home Alone, and Disney wanted to do it too. I mean, you could make that argument as well, but the movie is just a mess on so many levels. When you really dig deep into it, when you watch the movie and you realize how stupid everybody is in this movie, and everybody in this movie is really, really stupid. Even the people that think they're smarter than everybody else, they're supposed to be smarter than everybody else, they're really stupid. Like, this kid would not be able to buy half the stuff he buys with the $1 million that he has in this movie. Like, that's just... There's fantasy, and then there's complete ridiculousness, and this is complete ridiculousness. It just doesn't work. It's a movie that's so sloppily done. The actors are really not working their best here, and it also doesn't help that it has probably one of the ickiest things that you will ever see, and that is a 12-year-old kid kissing a 31-year-old woman kissing a 12-year-old kid on the lips. Not a typical kiss, like a typical normal kiss. No, they kiss in this movie, and it is so icky. It's so disgusting. It's pretty much borderline pedophilia. Like, yeah, it's a woman that's doing it, not the male. But this is one of the things that has to make you think, that has to make you tell yourself it doesn't matter who it is. It's still disgusting, no matter which person it is, and it's just so uncomfortable. And I don't understand what Karen Duffy was thinking when she read this and was just like, was she really okay with this? Did Disney look at this and say, are they really okay with this, or did they not even bother to look at it? Because if you look at it now, even back then when this movie came out, it's still just, ugh. It's just so nasty, and just like, it's amazing how Disney Plus, in the first couple of months Disney Plus came out, they were criticized for not showing the spin-off series to the movie Love Simon, Love Victor, although later on they would do it, but they said it was too adult. But this movie is okay with the kissing scene still intact. It's just like, it's just unbelievable that they went with that. This film got away with that, and for so many years nobody even bothered to look at it. But then again, the movie didn't do that well critically, or have that much of a lasting following. It wasn't really until nostalgia critic Doug Walker actually looked at it on the review for this, and that scene came up, and I think everybody realized, wait, did we actually let that happen? Like, did Disney actually let that happen? And yeah, I mean, that's what this movie is now known for. That ewiness, like that. That's just like, I mean, really, do I need to say anything more about this? This is just not a good movie, and that scene does not help it in any way, shape, or form. It's a really, really bad movie on so many levels, and that one just took the cake. That scene just took it, just sealed it right there. Just, I think it's time we move along. That's Blank Check, so let's move along to at least a better movie than Blank Check, and that is the sequel to My Girl 2. So you remember the first My Girl movie was a pretty good movie. It was a really solid film, a nice coming of age story. It really didn't need to have a sequel, but because it was a huge hit, Sony just said, "Yeah, we got to make another one." So here we have My Girl 2, which has the same director, most of the same cast was involved here, obviously without Macaulay Culkin, and instead of him, it's now Austin O'Brien from The Lawnmower Man. And as far as sequels goes, it's pretty much the same movie as the first film, but at the same time, I've seen worse. I mean, there's elements in here that are actually kind of good. There are actually some elements here where it is actually kind of interesting. Like, you don't like. I like seeing this idea that I like seeing that we're seeing that the main character Veda is growing up and how she handles this, and it's actually pretty well done for the most part. It does definitely fall into a lot of been there, done that type of things, which you get with a sequel like this. Just basically do the same thing as the first movie, and nobody will really be able to tell the difference. But I mean, like I said, I've seen worse. It's not that bad of a sequel, but it's definitely lacking compared to the first movie. I think the first movie did this a whole lot better. I think there was a lot there, but I do appreciate that they do manage to do stuff with this character growing up, and I wish they could have done a little bit more with it. Maybe they would have had something really good here, but like I said, for what it is, it's fine for what it is. It's not one you'd want to watch over and over again, but it's at least something of somewhat value. It has some value to it compared to most sequels like this. I've seen worse, but I've seen much better too. So My Girl 2, give it a pass. On that note, let's move on to the last movie, and that is The Cement Garden. We can move through this one pretty quickly because I haven't seen it. I can't really comment on it too much. But basic plot of this: 4 children live with their terminally ill mother. After she dies, they try to hold things together. In their isolated house, they begin to deteriorate mentally while they hide their mom's decomposing corpse in a makeshift concrete sarcophagus. So it's really nothing all that interesting, but I guess it looks like an interesting character study. Kind of a little bit of a Lord of the Flies in there if you want to look at those. There is kind of a little bit of that in there, but really I can't really say too much about it because I haven't seen the movie. I can't really comment on it too much, but I mean it looks like it could go either way. It looks like it's either something that's very profound, very masterpiece type, or it could be a very pretentious movie. Like, we really don't know. So that's pretty much all I got to say about that one. So that is The Cement Garden. And so on that note, we wrap up another edition of Time About the Movies. We'll jump into President's Day weekend next week. I should say on the next episode, but the next weekend will be President's Day weekend with a couple of notable movies, including Steven Seagal's lone directorial effort made by Warner Brothers, which was On Deadly Ground. We also have Nick Nolte and Shaquille O'Neal in Blue Chips, the cult hit Reality Bites, and also, looking at this list here, one more, and the last one we have is The Life and Times of Allen Ginsberg. So, basically 4 movies to look at next time, and we'll do that on the next episode. But until then, Thank you very much for watching, and if you want to see more videos like this, please hit the playlist on the next page, check out the previous episode, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for another episode. So thank you for watching, I'll see you next time, and until then, as always, take care.